think Morgan has a little helper in her lap that I don't know if that's cheating or not, but there we go.
Yes, I do have a helper. Promise I won't cheat.
Okay, good, good. So, folks, if you're a member of a team, you can change your identification, your name to the team name. I see we have Monica and Steph out there, and the Hamburglers, and so yeah, it's looking good. Kelly Ransom and I don't know who the and is. It didn't pop up for me, but that's okay.
Molly Goodman.
Oh, hey, Molly, how are you? Hey, there you are. I can only see the top of your head. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, so let's get going, folks. Welcome, everybody. Inspired by NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me game, the JP Center South Main Streets presents our latest trivia fundraiser, Fact or Fiction. Panelists will present stories of truth or fiction, and it's up to you or your team to decide which is fact and which is fiction. We have prizes for the top 3 players or teams who can spot the real deal. So without any further ado, let's get started. I would like to introduce tonight our readers. Casey Hughes, who's the secretary of JP Center South Main Streets and a board member. Ken Grout, professor of communications at Emerson College and a friend of JP Center South Main Streets. Aaron Kinney, longtime Boston resident and marketing executive and a friend of JP Center South Main Streets. Karen O'Brien, a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Commonwealth and a board member. Josh Muncie, principal of the Muncie Group Realtors and a board member of JP Center South Main Streets. Of course, Michael Reiskin, the board chair of JP Center South Main Streets and the man who knows everything to know about Jamaica Plain. Ginger Brown, the executive director of JP Center South Main Streets and the techno genius behind tonight's fundraiser. And my name is Brad Brown. I'm the owner of the Blue Frog Bakery and a member of the board of directors of JP Center South Main Streets. I do have to tell you before we start that this fundraiser is being recorded. And that's what tonight is. It is a fundraiser for Center South Main Streets. We've done a lot of work over the last year helping businesses get through the outbreak. Our work is not done. There are still huge hurdles ahead for all of our local businesses as they try to reopen and get on with the new normal. And we can use your help. So I would like to, just before we start, have a team check, make sure everybody is logged in and ready to go. Casey, do you
Brad?
Yes, ma'am.
Just a really quick reminder to people, please do not put a personal chat to the Techno Genius. The Techno Genius is doing techno stuff. So if you have a question about how to play the game, please put it in the public chat so that our chat watchers can get an answer for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ginger.
Thank you.
So it looks like we've got everybody here. And Casey, you good?
Yeah, can I just read off the teams to make sure everyone is listed?
Sure.
And
Okay.
don't forget, I have to read off the prizes.
Yeah, we're not there yet, Karen.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I was checking as everyone was signing in, and what I have is TCB Janet Galloway. I have Team Lisa. I have Monica B, Christian S, Bruce B, Sandy S, Faith G, Joy S, Jennifer B, Jaleesa T, the Hamburglers, Ann M, Kelly R, Monica and Steph, Morgan J, Nora C, and Corey W. I know some people signed in or registered as a team. So if you are a team of several people, let me know that and in the chat. But a lot of people just signed in and they're playing individually.
So I think there's a question of where to sign in. If you're on the Zoom call, you are signed in. So the way we are collecting answers is you're going to put them in the public chat.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, I see. Okay. Corey, Morgan, J. Okay. Morgan and Nora. All right. I'm making adjustments as people are chatting in. Thank you very much.
Great. All right. Well, let's get on with it. First, I want to introduce Karen O'Brien from our board. She's going to tell us about the fabulous prizes we have for you folks tonight.
We have in third place 4 to 6. Second prize for second place, a $50 gift certificate. First place is framed. And I also want to thank our sponsors, Karen O'Brien, Boston and the Burbs Real Estate, Josh Muncy, the Muncy Group, and the Same Old Place. And without them, we wouldn't have this fun event or prizes. So where are those prizes? Are there pictures showing of these prizes?
Yes, if people had the Watch Me screen pinned, they would have seen the prizes.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's get on with the show.
All right, folks. This is Fact or Fiction. Your job is to tell us which one is fact. All right, that's what you need. Out of the 3 stories you're going to hear every round, please enter your choice of what is fact into the chat. We'll get them recorded by our recorder, Casey Hughes. And then at the end of this thing, we will give out the fantastic prizes. So our first round is called Fugitives from Justice. And I'm going to have Casey start us off with the first story tonight. Casey.
Great. Thank you, Brad. So in 1970, a female Brandeis student went from being an activist against the Vietnam War to joining a guerrilla revolutionary group. In the course of a bank robbery in which she drove the getaway car, a Boston police officer was killed and the student fled from justice. She was on the FBI's most wanted list longer than any woman in history. She surrendered 23 years later, pled guilty to charges of armed robbery and manslaughter, and served 6 years in prison. She is now working as a successful real estate agent in Jamaica Plain. I had no idea about this until we did some research for this game.
Brad?
Sorry about that. Yep, that's okay. Casey, thank you very much. That was excellent. Our second story is from Ken Grout. Ken?
In 1984, an argument erupted over a parking spot in Hyde Square between an elderly local resident and a young apprentice. Now, the confrontation attracted the attention of 2 Boston police cruisers, and eventually the young man hopped in his Chevy, peeled toward the Jamaica Way, thus necessitating the involvement of the state police as well. The entire ordeal escalated to a 3-state car chase that ended in a ditch in New Hampshire. Now, the perpetrator and the Leadfoot is now a successful electrician in Boston. I sort of made that because I know who he is. So, anyway.
Thank you, Ken. I know I've known you for a long time, Ken. You've been in a bunch of car chases, but never into a ditch, right?
There was a ditch. I hadn't discussed it with you before now, but
fair enough. Fair enough. All right, our third story of this round is going to be from Aaron Kinney. Aaron, you ready?
Yes, I am. Okay, so in 1998, at the outdoor market near Haymarket Station, a 77-year-old woman from Jamaica Plain had hidden a 5-pound sea bass under her overcoat and slipped through the crowds. She was spotted by MBTA security for suspicious behavior as she was boarding the Orange Line. MBTA transit officers were alerted and began watching. Upon reaching the train platform in Forest Hills, she was finally approached by transit police officers when the illicit sea bass slipped from under her coat. The fishmonger decided not to press charges when it was revealed that she had already eaten some of the raw fish while on route home. I remember this story, and it made me not want to try seafood for a very long time.
I hear you. All right, Aaron, thank you very much. So, folks, those are the 3 stories. You have to choose the correct one, the truth. Story number 1 is the bank robber turned real estate agent. Story number 2 is the car chase ending up in a ditch. And story number 3 is the MBTA sushi gone bad. So please enter your stories, what you think is true, into the chat right now. And while you're doing that, good. All right, we're gonna move right on into round number 2, just because we are running a little bit behind. So round number 2 is about the U-shaped bench at Jamaica Pond. So our first reader is going to be Karen. Karen, can you tell us a story
Yes.
about the U-shaped bench at Jamaica Pond?
So the U-shaped bench. Well, Boston Green Academy, a Boston Public High School, in partnership with the Food Project and the Boston Arts Commission, host a design competition for artfully designed planters each year. A junior at BGA won second place for his design of a planter that looks suspiciously like a bench with a twist. It's U-shaped. His winning design was created and prototyped as a planter for one season at the pond, but was found to be deeply flawed as a planter. It was left in place at the pond as a statement piece, an oddity, a conversation starter.
Awesome, thank you, Karen. Story number 2, we're gonna get Josh Muncy to read. Josh, go ahead.
All right. Jamaica Pond is a favorite park for nannies and young parents wanting to get out and about with little ones. The benches looking out onto the water are an appealing place to sit and chat. One young mom who was getting a degree in industrial design created the U-shaped bench as a way to corral their babies, typically worn in slings on their backs, while she and other moms did their stretches over a power walk around the pond. She pitched it to the Parks Department, and then they built it and installed it for public use.
Great, thanks, Josh. I mean, I've seen you around the pond. Have you parked your kids in there?
It keeps them from running away every time. It's
Perfect.
really a perfect design.
Perfect. I myself like to nap in it, but that's a whole other thing. All right, and our last reader is going to be Michael Reiskind. Michael, can we hear your story, please?
A mass art professor snuck a self-made U-shaped bench with no front side, only 2 back sides, into the Jamaica Pond Park without approval of the Park Service. It took the city a week to discover and another 4 days before it was removed. The professor petitioned the Boston Art Commission to put it back as a public art piece, which is why it is there now amongst the traditionally built and utilized benches.
Great, thank you very much, Michael. All right, folks, you got story number 1, the food planters. Story number 2, kid parking, or story number 3, the mass art professor's art piece. Please start entering your answers into the chat right now. I'm just going to go back and tell you that the correct answer from Fugitive from Justice was the first question, the first story about the bank robber turned real estate agent, if you can believe that. So yeah. I'm going to just, hey, Monica and Steph, can you unmute yourselves for a sec?
Woohoo!
Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining us this evening. How's everything going?
Good.
Awesome.
Good. Do you have, you've obviously, have you seen the bench that we're talking about at the pond, the U-shaped bench?
Love it. Love it.
Have you taken a nap in it?
No, but we've done yoga in it.
Okay.
It
That
is
works.
yoga.
That's good. I like that. All right. So far, you feel the questions have been pretty easy? You feeling okay?
Yeah, I would love to have the services of that real estate agent.
Okay. Well, hey, we've got a couple. Which one? Karen's here. Josh is here. So
I won't rob you. Josh won't either.
We got a bunch. All right. Where's Casey gone? Casey, do we have all the answers for round 2 in?
Yes, I think so.
Last chance to get your answer in, folks. We're about to tell you.
Last chance. All right, Monica and Steph, thank you. We'll talk to you later, I hope. All right, last chance, going once. Everybody got their answers in twice. All right. Obviously, everybody knows that that bench is a piece of art from a mass art professor. It was the third story from Michael Reiskin was the truth. All right, well, that is our first 2, oh my gosh, I've lost my train of thought there. Those are our first 2 rounds. And now we're gonna have a word from our sponsors. Josh Muncy from the Muncy Group, take it away, please.
Hey, everybody. I'm Josh from the Muncy Group. It's a privilege to sponsor this event because Center South Streets is a big part of what makes our neighborhood special. And just very grateful for everything that they did to step in and support local businesses, especially this past year. We're a local real estate team helping buyers and sellers, and are happy to be here. So just reach out to us if we can ever help you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Josh. Let's get into round three. Round three is about the Footlight Club. Our first story is going to be from Aaron. Aaron, go right ahead, please.
You got it. The Footlight Club, the oldest community theater in the U.S., was picketed by angry locals in the mid-1890s for its attempt at hosting burlesque shows. The Footlight had contracted the famous company Lily Hall's Burlesquers for a performance, hoping for a boost in revenue. Unfortunately, the picketers drew the attention of local government, who shut down the theater for close to a year as the governing body of the Footlight reorganized and trying to gain public confidence back.
Great, Aaron. Thank you very much. Our second story is from Ginger Brown. Ginger?
Right. Throughout its history, the Footlight has been part of the cultural fabric of the Jamaica Plain neighborhood. Two of its founding members also co-founded the Harvard Lampoon years before. Some of their productions have included In the Next Room, also known as The Vibrator Play, Bad Boy the Musical, and The Rocky Horror Picture Show. I happen to know that at the Vibrator Play, they sold vibrators.
Okay, thank you very much, Ginger. And lastly but not leastly, story number 3 is from Karen O'Brien. Karen?
Hi. During Prohibition, a neighbor of the Footlight Club hosted a speakeasy in a secret room in his basement. This speakeasy had a narrow tunnel connected to the Footlight Club basement. This allowed patrons to get away for a short break, grab a drink, and head back to their seat without leaving the theater. It was not uncommon in those days for actors to look out into the audience and realize all the men had disappeared during the course of a show, and I wonder where they went.
Thank you, Karen. Excellent. So those are your choices, folks. First, there was a burlesque show going on at the Footlight, and they got picketed. Secondly, that the Footlight Club, through its history, has been on the cutting edge of theater in America with such plays as In the Next Room, The Vibrator Play, or Bat Boy. And the last is the underground tunnel into the speakeasy next door, so the men could go and quaff a libation, while the women and children, I guess, watched the play. That's kind of misogynistic and sexist, but hey, it was a long time ago. Please start entering in your answers, and we're going to have a quick chat with another one of our contestants here. Corey, can you unmute yourself for a sec?
I can, but I don't know where my script is.
Oh, that's okay. We're just going to ask you a question. Say hi. Thank you for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Oh, very well. How are you doing?
Good. Very well. Thank you for joining us. I see an awful lot of books behind you there. You think that's going to help you with the answers tonight?
No, but they're fun to have in the background.
Excellent. Excellent. And this is the first time you've come out to one of our fundraisers?
It's my second time.
Okay, good, good. Did you do the other trivia fundraiser with us?
I did a trivia with the Muncie group as well. I'm part of the Muncie group. So
okay, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much.
And I've loved your spot since your very beginnings. I lived on Boylston Street when you opened.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take the plug anytime. All right, folks, this is your last chance to get your answers in. Last chance on getting the answers in. All right, and of course, there was never a burlesque show or a speakeasy. It was, excuse me, it was story number 2 from Ginger about the Footlight being in the cutting edge of theatrical history. So congratulations to everybody who got it. And if you didn't, you don't know Jamaica Plain as well as you think you do. Our next round is about geometrical buildings in Jamaica Plain. Apparently, there's some really cool geometrical buildings in Jamaica Plain. Our first reader will be Ken. Ken, can you tell us your story, please?
Of course. There were early plans for the Arnold Arboretum that included a building in the shape of a dodecahedron. Now, the building was meant to serve as a planetarium and observatory for the esteemed Harvard institution, Construction began on the building in November 1888, was completed in March of 1890, but once fully constructed, it was then discovered that the tree canopy was much denser than had been anticipated. In point of fact, it wasn't possible to see the sky at all. The original architects had envisioned that the observatory would sit nestled among the trees, but instead it remained completely shaded all summer long. Now, when it was proposed that the trees be cut down to allow for proper use of the building, it became necessary for the Arboretum to live up to its name, which it did. The building was never used and was finally demolished in 1922.
Excellent. Thank you, Ken. Okay, have I mentioned to you that I've been going to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week lately?
You haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into shape, and the shape I picked, funny enough, was a dodecahedron.
You see, I've heard about that very chain of gyms, so good luck with that.
Thank you, Aaron, for the drum roll or the rim shot. Our second story about geometric buildings in JP is going to come from Casey Hughes. Casey, go right ahead.
Thank you, Brad. The Triangle House of Jamaica Plain, built in response to the mini ice age of 1818, which I knew nothing about, was one of the earliest known examples of a triangle house. That winter, a local carpenter became exasperated at the poor condition of his roof as it sagged and leaked under the weight of the ever-increasing snow and ice and became uninhabitable. When at last it was warm enough to begin construction, he built his home with a steeply pitched roof on 3-foot-high walls. The new dwelling was 2 stories and promised never to hold snow or ice on the roof. The house lasted until 1879, when it was unfortunately destroyed by a fire.
All right, thanks, Casey. And lastly, our third story is going to be from Josh Muncy. Josh, go right ahead, please.
Thank you, Brad. Jamaica Plain is home to a hexagonal house approximating a Y shape, which has 12 sides, a hexagonal cupola and skylight, allowing a panoramic view of Boston. Built in 1871 in an extraordinarily ornate Gothic design, the 3 sections feature 6-sided rooms, winding stairs, and closets tucked in every nook and cranny. Believed to have been built by a couple of Scottish brothers as a bachelor pad, the building is now on the National Register of Historic Places.
All right, thanks, Josh. I don't know about you, but I think that bachelor pad back then was a little bit different. I mean, what was your bachelor pad like?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It didn't have 12 sides, that's for sure. It had about 7 roommates and 1 bathroom.
There you go. Mirrors on the ceiling in the bedroom?
Oh, God.
No, just me?
No
right.
comment.
That's okay. All right, folks. Well, there's your choices. Story number 1 is about the observatory that never happened, or could have happened in the Arboretum, but there was just too many trees. Go figure. Second one is the hut that was built to beat the mini ice age, but could not beat the fire. And 3 is the tri-hexagonal house bachelor pad for a couple of randy Scottish carpenters. Carpenters? Yeah, brothers. All right, get your answers in, please, as fast as you can. And we will get on. Let's see, who do we have here? My next screen. How about? Hey, Joy. Can you turn off, unmute yourself for a sec?
Sure. Hi.
Joy, how you doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. This is fun.
Thanks. What do you think the true answer is in our latest geometric buildings?
I think it's the Arboretum one.
You think it's the Arboretum one? Wow, that would be good, but it's not.
Oh, I think if it were the last one, we would all know where it is.
Are all the answers in? I don't think the answers are all in.
No, we're getting there. We're close. Yeah, I'm not giving away anything yet. That's okay. So, Joy, you used to own Fresh Hair and have now decided to retire. And how is it treating you? Are you enjoying life?
Yeah, retirement is lovely. I highly recommend it.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm right behind you as soon as I can, believe me.
And I'm going to give a plug to Paper Cuts that rents the space now.
Okay. Yeah. I was down there the other day. They look great. They're having opening back up and everything is going to be great for them.
Yeah.
All right, folks, this is your last. Anyway, sorry. Thank you, Joy. Nice talking to you. Folks, this is the last chance to get your answer in. Last call for answers. And of course, the factual story is the trihexagonal home. It's still here. Michael, you know where it is. Can you tell us anything about the trihexagonal house? You're on mute.
The trihexagonal house is on Cranston Street. I put a picture of it in my computer.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
If you want to see that, yes. And the interesting thing, if you can look carefully, is the siding are all made of custom wooden blocks. Also, each one 6-sided, and most made out of 2 different pieces of wood, dovetailed together. Very interesting house.
All right. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Well, that is our 4th round out of the way. And we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors. Tonight's event is sponsored by Karen O'Brien, Boston in the Burbs, a JP native with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Commonwealth. And I believe we have a commercial for her.
My name is Karen O'Brien, and this is Boston in the Burbs. Today we're going to talk about why is Jamaica Plain, a neighborhood in Boston, so attractive? Why does everyone want to live there? Stick with me and I will be right back. Hi there. Do you want to know how you can possibly buy and sell at the same time? Stick with me and I'll give you step-by-step instructions. Welcome to the top 5 most expensive neighborhoods in the city of Boston. Are you new to the Boston area? Do you want to find a neighborhood you will like? Something maybe affordable?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Karen O'Brien, Boston in the Burbs. If you need a real estate agent, she is a good one to go to. Our next round is called What a Dummy.
Brad?
Yes, ma'am.
Very quickly before we keep going, I just want to send a reminder out to people that when entering your answers, you have to put them in the chat that goes to everyone. I'm getting some direct messages, which means that our scorekeeper cannot see your answers and therefore you're not being graded on them. So you need to make sure your answers are seen by everyone.
All right. Thank you, Ginger. If you look at the bottom of your chat screen, it says 2. There's a pull down menu and you can put it and make sure it goes to Casey, the right person. All right, folks. Moving on to our next round, something we're calling What a Dummy. 3 stories about dummies. Ken, you're up for a story.
A highway driver used a realistic mannequin to sneak into the carpool lane. Now, the local state highway patrol said a driver using the high occupancy vehicle lanes of a highway was found to actually be traveling alone, except for, quote, one of the best dummies that police had ever seen. The patrol said an officer stationed in a rest stop nearby pulled over a truck traveling in an HOV lane because the vehicle's windows were tinted too dark and the officer couldn't see if the driver had a passenger. Now, while it's not unheard of for people to use mannequins to try to skirt traffic laws, the officer said the officer was impressed by the lengths the driver had gone to make the fake passenger appear real. Apparently, the dummy had a hat, glasses, sunglasses in the shirt pocket, work boots, and even a mask.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. You know, that happened to my wife. She got pulled over in the HOV lane with me in the car. And they tried to give her a ticket, and she took it. So I don't know what that'll tell you, but anyways. Our second reader tonight is said wife, my lovely wife, Ginger Brown, Executive Director of JP Center South Main Street. Ginger, please tell your story.
Sure. Boston police have been dealing with a slew of phone calls regarding a body found in the fens near Fenway Park. Recalling the gritty 70s and favored dumping place for murder victims, visitors to the fens have spotted what appears to be a body in the reeds. Upon closer inspection, it is in fact a large rock that just happens to be incredibly reminiscent of a person laying on their side, with its dark hue very similar to the surrounding mud. When the water levels in the fens rise, the sight can be chillingly realistic. While the Boston PD are well aware of the realistic rock, they have no choice but to respond to every report, thus wasting valuable man hours and resources.
Thank you, Ginger. And our third and final clue or story is from Casey Hughes. Casey, go ahead.
So this story freaks me out because I'm often in the Arnold Arboretum. So it turns out a recent random display in the Roslindale area of the Arnold Arboretum featured a creepy menagerie of full-sized mannequins leaning on trees, sitting in the trees, and lounging on park benches. The mannequins were displayed with all black clothing, complete with winter coats, sunglasses, and glow-in-the-dark necklaces, apparently just enjoying a day in the park. The eerie vibe comes at dusk when fewer and fewer people happen upon the lonely display in the park. Local authorities have asked the artists to take them down before they were removed by park authorities.
Excellent. Thank you, Casey. All right, folks, there's our three stories about dummies. First from Ken, a very realistic, amazing dummy, which I have been called before in my life. From Ginger, the rock that has been mistaken for a human body in the fens. And last but not least, a very creepy art installation in the Arnold Arboretum. So please, folks, enter your answers in the chat. And while you're doing that, I'm going to ask the Hamburglers to unmute themselves for a sec. Hey, Hamburglers, how you doing?
Good, thanks. I'm gonna put us on the here.
Good. Well, hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight. How's it going so far? Do you think you're doing okay?
Yeah, we're having a good time. Sorry, we'd be on camera, but it's not working.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I can talk to a picture. That's fine. What did you get for this for What a Dummy? Which one do you think it is?
We're struggling to make a decision.
Sure.
Not a consensus.
I think we're going to go with 2, which we haven't put in the chat yet. So,
okay. All right. Hamburglers are going for 2. Well, I would just like to say thank you very much for coming out tonight. I hope you have a cocktail or a libation going on with this, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right. All right. How we doing, Casey? We getting them all in? Okay. We'll take that as a yes. All right. This is going to be your last call to get your answers in. Hamburglers, good job. Last call, going once.
I don't see Joy.
Joy?
I did it. I'll do it again.
Yeah, make sure it's not going to Ginger. All right, did we get it in? All right, well, that's it. If you didn't, you're out of luck. The right answer was Ken's story number 1 about the highway driver using a realistic plastic mannequin. All right, that was it. Congratulations to those who got it right. Sorry to say to those who didn't, you don't know JP as well as you think you do. Our next clue, our next round is about the clock on Center Street. I didn't know if you know, but there's a clock on Center Street. Our first reader will be Michael Reiskin. Michael, go ahead, please.
Originally built in 1930, the clock that stands on the sidewalk outside of Citizens Bank at 696 Center Street does not use electricity for keeping time, and therefore has to be wound by hand once per week. There are only 2 key holders to the inner mechanism that winds the clock, one of whom is also the timekeeper for the steeple clock at the First Church on Elliott Street.
Great, thank you, Michael. Our second story is from Aaron Kinney. Aaron?
The 1930 clock that stands on the sidewalk outside of Citizens Bank at 696 Center Street has had its fair share of stops and delays, as any who walk by can attest. In point of fact, the clock continues to experience difficulties because it has been struck by lightning. It had been struck by lightning in 1967. Even though the original manufacturers of the clock have repeatedly repaired the inner mechanism, it remains elusively stubborn about maintaining the correct time.
Great, thank you. Aaron, do you think getting hit with 1.21 gigawatts of electricity would keep you going? I mean,
I think it would get me going so strong that I just skyrocket 20 years into the future.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, and our last story comes from Karen O'Brien. Karen?
The 1930 clock that stands on the sidewalk outside of Citizens Bank at 696 Center Street was originally sponsored by a soft drink called Moxie and formally included in their branding. Unfortunately, Moxie's eventual demise led to the closure of their Jamaica Plain plant and meant that they had to stop funding the clock. Thankfully, Citizens Bank took up the mantle and their branding can be seen on the top.
Excellent. Thank you, Karen. All right, folks, there's your story. Story number one from Michael is his clock works without electricity some crazy way. Number two from Aaron is that there was 1.21 gigawatts of electricity from a lightning strike going through it. And lastly, from Karen O'Brien, the story that that clock had Moxie. It was paid for by the Moxie soft drink company. And then when they went out of business, thankfully, Citizens Bank took over. Please enter your story or your answers into the chat right now. Story number one, story number two, or story number three. All right, folks, how we doing? Everybody get it in? Give you 30 more seconds.
I feel like we ought to have music or something, Jeopardy music.
Yeah.
Do 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 All right, that's it, folks. You get yeah. So obviously, it was Michael's story was number one, that the clock needs to be wound. Yes, Jeff Ferris giving the thumbs up. I'm pretty sure he knew that was the answer to that. We actually have one of the winders with us tonight. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about the clock? I didn't want to give that away, Jeff, just in case. We have both of the winders here tonight. Michael Reiskin and Jeff Ferris are the clock winders. So,
yes,
Michael, what do you know?
works. Yeah, it works. The clock works without electricity. The electricity is there only for the light, but it has a pendulum, which has to be wound every 7 or 8 days. And it was made by E. Howard and Company, which make tower and street clocks, including the clock on the top of the First Church Unitarian at the monument.
Excellent. Michael, thank you very much for that. Folks, that is pretty much what we have for our regular rounds. We're going to do a quick score check with Casey to see where everybody stands. And if
Brad?
we do, yes.
Does Casey need time because we have our last commercial?
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I totally forgot about the last commercial. I am just going way too fast. Folks, another word from our sponsors. Tonight Events is sponsored by TCB, the cooperative bank, with their latest location down on Washington Street. And I believe we have a commercial from them.
Sure.
JP, meet TCB. The cooperative bank has been serving the greater Boston area for over 100 years. We pride ourselves on being based in Boston, serving Boston residents and beyond. And when you bank local, your money stays local. Last summer, we opened our 4th location at 3531 Washington Street, next to Third Cliff Bakery. From personal banking to business banking, first-time mortgages to financial planning, we have all your financial needs covered. You want your money to help you achieve as many life goals as possible. TCB is ready to support you with sound advice, attentive personal service, the right account and loan options, and efficient online tools. We hope that you will visit our team at our new Jamaica Plain branch at 3531 Washington Street so we can show you what makes us Boston's neighborhood bank.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cooperative Bank, for sponsoring us tonight. We really appreciate it.
I believe we have a team from them as well.
We do have a team from them. Yep. Yep. Does the Cooperative Bank team want to unmute themselves?
Hello, folks. Thank you for having us.
Hey. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. How are you doing tonight? You think you're doing all right? You think you got some answers right?
We have a variety of answers going back and forth here, so
Okay.
we hope so.
All right. All right. Well, Casey, how we doing? Do we have any news? Update?
So we do, yes. So many people, many teams so far have a 3, but we do have someone who's kind of outrunning them all. The team of Ferris and McKinnon.
Okay.
They have 5.
Okay.
5 out of 6. And then I think this is Team Muncie, Morgan, Nora, and Corey. Is that correct? They have 4.
Okay.
So they're in the lead. Sorry, the McKinnon and Ferris are in the lead, followed by the Muncie team. And then everyone else has 3 out of 6.
Okay. Sounds good.
Good thing we have some tiebreaker questions lined up.
It is. It is. Karen, are you happy with just 6 rounds? And we'll do a tiebreaker for 3rd place?
Sounds okay by me.
Okay. Well, let's get on with a tiebreaker. First, congratulations to Ferris and McKinnon for coming in first.
Woo!
Good job, guys. Good job. And Casey, who was it? The Muncie group came in second?
Yep.
All right.
Nora, Morgan, and Corey.
Excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. I like it. And oh man, I got.
And we're right on time too.
Good. So for
So
those,
are we going in for a tiebreaker?
We're doing a tiebreaker
for 3rd place.
For 3rd place.
Sock'em, sock'em.
I have my little sound effects set up.
Does that mean only
You were really excited to use that, weren't you, Ginger?
I really was. I had to find the rock'em, sock'em, and everything.
Nice. All right. So our we have 2 tiebreaker questions if we need it, but I'm going to go for the first one. These are very difficult, and you really need to know JP. I'm going to go to what we're calling so many jail cells, just because I really dig it. All right. So the tiebreaker questions about so many jail cells. And our first reader is Ken Grout. Ken, please.
There we go. Just wanted to unmute myself. All right. You may not know, but Seaver's store, located at 741 Center Street, was the oldest in Boston and probably in the Commonwealth. It was founded in 1796 by Joshua or Ebenezer Seaver, and was for many years the only general store between Boston and Providence. Now, after retiring from teaching, the first Seaver bought a store that colonial troops had patronized and built the building at 741 Center. It became the area's first post office, police headquarters, and fire station, besides being the stopping place for stagecoaches between Boston and Providence. The store was owned and managed by 3 generations of Seavers and then Joseph Daly before it was demolished in the 1950s. In the basement of a neighboring building, Fowler's Real Estate, are cells where prisoners were locked up while the store served as the area's police station.
Thank you very much, Ken. All right. Our second reader is going to be Josh Muncy. Josh?
Thank you, Brad. It's a great story coming. If only the jailbirds of a century ago could see the 28 Severns Avenue now. The condo conversion in Jamaica Plain, which still retains its black metal jail door, is handsome luxury compared to its old days as E13 police station. Built in the late 1800s, the red brick Gothic Revival style building retains much of its 19th century architecture. Originally constructed as the D13 police station for West Roxbury, the structure is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Today, the building is largely residential condos that still utilize the original jail cells in the basement as storage spaces.
Thank you very much, Josh. And last but not least, Michael Reiskin, please.
I've got the shortest clue here today. On Kenton Road in Jamaica Plain, the oldest house is number 39. It was a former mayor's house, and it still has the jail cells in the basement.
Okay.
Oh no, wait a minute. Oh. Can I elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, Ginger, can you read the full clue?
Right. So the newly established town did not have much in the way of resources as far as public services, including the fire stations, police stations, or a town hall. So before they were able to build the appropriate facilities, they used the mayor's home as the police station and jailhouse. So when Jamaica Plain and West Roxbury were reabsorbed into the city, then the house became privately owned. And then the Kennedy family, not the Kennedy family, but a Kennedy family got the house, and there are still jail cells in the basement.
Okay. Sorry, yes, I was working on the old script.
I'm so
I now
sorry.
have it in front of me, yes.
Well, to make this even more difficult.
But this is definitely true.
To make this even more difficult, Ginger, there was a 2 sentences you left out right at the beginning. When Jamaica Plain seceded from Boston to become a part of West Roxbury, the first mayor of West Roxbury lived in a home on Kenton Road in Jamaica Plain. The newly established town did not have much in the way of resources, and then that's it. So there are your 3 clues, folks. Seaver's store located at 741 Center Street. The old E13 police station at 28 Severns Avenue, now luxury condos, or the Kenton Road house that was the West Roxbury mayor's first home. So folks, let's get those answers in and let's see if we can't find somebody to take 3rd place.
I think this one's going to be hard.
This is going to be hard. This is going to be very, very hard.
Thank goodness we, if need be, there's a second tiebreaker.
There is a second tiebreaker, if need be. Actually, Jeff, you guys didn't really have to answer, but thank you. It's just for 3rd place. Just going to cement that in there and try and get another point.
You're just going to rub it in. Rub it into their faces.
Hey, while we're waiting, let's talk to one last team. Hey, Kelly and Molly, can you unmute yourselves?
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you? How you doing?
Chilling.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Are you having some fun?
Yes, thank you for having us. We're
Yeah, I think so. I've been watching you. You've been giggling all night. It's been great.
Yeah, we needed this. That's us. We just giggle.
Excellent. Did you? What do you think? What do you think? What is your answer for the final clue here?
Molly had some backup that I listened to. I think it's number 2 because one of my Suffolk professors had one of those condos, and I saw the jail cell in the basement.
Really? Okay. All right.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, how could you not? How could you not? All right. All right. Do we have all of our answers in, Casey? Still muted.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So I'm going to step back from this and ask Michael to explain exactly why story number 1 was the true story. Michael? Or maybe Ginger can tell us why, what in the stories were changed to make them a little bit not right.
Sure.
Yeah, number 3 is
Michael, do you
not
want to do
correct.
it?
Yeah, well, I know number 3 is not correct because it wasn't a mayor's house, it was a police chief's house.
Okay, there we go. We
Not
told
the
you they were going to
mayor.
be hard.
That was the red herring in number 3.
All right, and number 2?
In number 2, I just made up that there were jail cells in the basement. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. All right. Casey, did we get a third place winner?
No, we only got one right answer, and it was Ferris and McKinnon.
All right, we're going to we got 5 minutes left, folks. Here we go with Hidden Houses of JP for the third place, folks. Ferris and McKinnon, if you want to answer, that's fine, but you don't have to. Our first reader is going to be Michael. Michael, can you please tell us about Hidden History of the Houses of JP?
Okay. Discovered in the basement of the Loring Greenough house in the 1930s was a secret wine cellar that belonged to the Loring family. The Loring family was forced to flee the house in 1774 during the Revolution, believing that they would be able to return. The next residents, the Greenough family, discovered the wine cellar during a restoration in the 1930s and uncovered port, fortified wine, beer, and cider. They were able to taste some of the wine and the port, but still good. But unfortunately, the beer and cider had gone bad.
Thank you very much, Michael. Our second story is from Casey Hughes. Casey?
Pine Bank Mansion was a Queen Anne-style house situated on a hill overlooking Jamaica Pond. Built in 1868 by Frederick Law Olmsted, it was the only original structure remaining in the park system at the time of its demolition in 2007. This is the third house at that site. The first house was built as a summer home in 1806 by James Perkins. His grandson, Edward Newton Ned Perkins, replaced the first house in 1848 with an elegant mansard roofed home for year-round use. After this burned down in 1868, Ned was approached by Frederick Law Olmsted to build the third Pine Bank house. The city of Boston acquired Pine Bank in 1892, whence it has been used by the Boston Parks Commission, Boston Children's Museum, and a city-sponsored community arts program. Unfortunately, a 2006 structural analysis concluded the building was unsalvageable and it was demolished in 2007.
Thank you very much, Casey. And for our last clue, we are going to go to Karen O'Brien for our last story. Karen? Karen, you're muted.
Thank you. Linden Hall, Jamaica Plain's most English-style estate, sat back from the bow of Grosvenor Road near Pond Street and was named after the trees that line the walk to its entrance. The main house was built at 18 Pond Street in 1755 for Reverend John Troutbeck, assistant rector of the First Anglican Church in Boston, and owner of a distillery, on grounds that extended all the way to Jamaica Pond. The original owners were avid Tories, and so left Boston with the British in 1776. The house then came into the possession of Charles W. Green, who used the buildings as a preparatory boarding school for boys, the barn for the schoolhouse, and the home for a dormitory. Now one can merely see the old barn, unaligned with Center Street and Pond Street. The exterior preserves little of its former dignity and beauty.
All right, folks, there you go. Our first story about wine and spirits being found in the basement of Loring Greenough House. Our second story about Pine Bank Mansion. And our third about Linden Hall, Jamaica Plain's most English-style estate. Let's get your answer in. There we go.
kind of a nail biter. I had no idea it would get so close.
It's close.
I really do hope somebody gets it because I have another sound effect and graphic for the winner.
Excellent. All right, let's get your answers in, folks. This is it, the big nail biter. It's the best prize of the night, I think.
Brad, if I could just say, so whoever our winners are, please put your email addresses in the chat after we proclaim the winners, and I will get in touch with them about how they can claim their prizes.
Excellent. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Joy, we need your answer, I think. Faith, we're looking for your answer. Monica and Steph, we need your answer. Make sure it's going into the right person.
No, I have Monica. And
Oh, you
Steph.
have them? Oh,
yeah, and I have Joy.
Okay, great. I guess I'm
good.
All right, Casey, are we, I think everybody's in?
Yes.
Okay.
Think so.
So, folks, the hidden history answers, the fiction, the first answer was fiction. The wine cellar at the Loring Greenough House was actually discovered in the 1840s, not the 1930s. Question number 2, or story number 2, was fiction as well. The Pine Bank Mansion was designed by John Hubbard Sturgis, not Frederick Law Olmsted, which means the third story, Linden Hall, is true. And we would like to thank the JP Historical Society for that tidbit. And did we get, Casey, anybody with the right answer?
We did, actually. Team Lisa got the right answer, which now her final score is 4 out of 6, which means she is now tied for second place.
No, that's okay. We had first and second already done, and she had got 1. This doesn't count towards the total score. So
the tiebreaker's for third place.
The tiebreaker was for third place, so she's in third place.
So, yeah,
so congratulations, Lisa. All right. That was awesome. That was a nail biter right there. So again, third place, you're going to win a minimum of 4 pastries from the Blue Frog Bakery. If your team has more than that, everybody will get a treat. Second place is the $50 gift certificate from Same Old Place. And first place are the art prints from the Muncie Group. Thank you very much, everybody. Please, the winners, get your email to Ginger so she can email you directions on picking up all of your prizes. And as I said, this is a fundraiser. If you want to donate, we have a bunch of ways to donate. Ginger, can we get the ways into the chat?
Sure, I'll post them right now.
Thank you very much. Suffice to say, you can mail donations to our office at 670 Center Street, Suite 7 in JP. You can donate to PayPal on //front/PayPal US fundraiser. It will put it up there. We're also on Venmo. You can do a paycheck deduction regularly through Benivity, or you can always donate at our website, jpcentersouth.com. You can also sign up for our newsletter at jpcentersouth.com/support us. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/jpcentersouth, or even on Twitter, twitter.com/jp_centersouth. And we're on Instagram and YouTube too, but wow, I can't read that much. So I want to thank all of our contestants tonight for coming out and supporting us. I would like to thank all of our readers tonight. You guys did a great job reading the stories. And I would always like to thank Karen and Casey and Michael and Josh and Ginger. Did I miss anybody? For helping
What about
out.
the writers?
Those were the writers.
Writers of all those stories were brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
And the
Ginger would know better who wrote everything, but it was Karen.
It was
and
a
Casey.
group effort.
Yeah,
It was a
Karen
group
and Casey.
effort. It was contributed by Josh Muncy, Karen O'Brien, and Casey Hughes and me. But also, I do want to thank the JP Historical Society. We got our tiebreaker questions from them.
And I want to thank Brad for making us laugh.
It's what I do. It's what I do. Well, folks, it's 8:35, which means it's 5 minutes past my bedtime. Baker's hours, as you know. So thank you very much for coming out tonight. We really, really appreciate it. On behalf of everybody at Center South Main Streets, good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.